Before we deconstruct the brutal mathematical reality of why your current AI strategy is actively driving your career into, I have exactly 3 critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1, are you currently feeding your enterprise AI the exact same industry report, best practices, and standard corporate data as your competitor, blindly hoping for a different result? Number 2, do you understand the lethal structural differences between an operator who asks an algorithm for the right answer and a sovereign architect who feeds a machine contextually anomalous data to force a market breakthrough? Number 3, when your entire industry is automated by mean-reverting language model, do you possess the cross-domain cognitive framework to become mathematically unreplaceable? Let me know your answer. I'm Dr. HR, and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional, comforting advice, but as a cold, structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders the Middle East and India, I monitor exactly how absolute leverage is generated and how it is violently destroyed. The market does not reward you for generating the same output faster. It rewards you for generating output the machine could never synthesize on its own. AI is coming for your job, but not for the reasons you think. The media will tell you that you will be replaced because the machine is faster, cheaper, and smarter. That is only half the equation. You are becoming replaceable because while everyone else is feeding the algorithms standard, sanitized industry data, you're doing the exact same thing. You're training the machine to perfectly replicate your specific narrow silo of expertise. To survive 2026, you must completely shatter your current operational matrix. You must stop thinking like a linear operator and start feeding your neural network the wrong data. You must intentionally inject contextual chaos into your algorithm. This is the only way to bypass the homogeneity trap and become truly biological indispensable. Before I completely the illusion of industry best practices, expose the exact mechanics of asymmetrical data synthesis, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to weaponize wrong data for massive corporate leverage, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop feeding the echo chamber. Start breaking the algorithm. Grab a notebook. It is time to inject the anomaly. Phase 1, the homogeneity trap. The danger of a right data. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating technological trap that has paralyzed the C-suites, marketing departments, and HR division across Bangalore, Silicon Valley, and the UAE mainland. In the race to adopt artificial intelligence, corporations deployed a fundamentally flawed algorithm. They look their best analyst, their most senior strategist, and their top engineers and gave them enterprise access to model like Claude or GPT 4.0. The executive issued a command, use the AI to optimize our processes based on historical data and industry best practices. The employees obeyed. The chief marketing officer fed the AI the last 5 years of successful marketing campaign to generate the new one. The HR director fed the AI the standard corporate handbook to write the new retention policy. The financial analyst fed the AI the standard macroeconomic report to predict the Q4 earnings. They fed the machine the right data. This is a homogeneity trap. Large language models are by their foundational mathematical definition a mean-reverting prediction engine. They identify the statistical average of the data they are fed. If you are a real estate developer in Dubai and you feed the AI the exact same property market data, the exact same RERA regulations, and the exact same architectural trend that every other developer in Dubai is using, the AI will output the exact same skyscraper design and pricing strategy. When every corporation uses the same frontier model and feed those models the same industrial standard data, the delta between you and your competitors drop to zero. Strategic alpha is completely destroyed. If your job is simply to feed the right data into the machine to get the standard industry output, your job is dead. The corporation does not need a $150,000 a year executive to ask the machine for the average. The machine does the average automatically. Phase 2, the wrong data paradigm, asymmetrical synthesis. To escape the homogeneity trap, you must execute a radical cognitive pivot. You must master the physics of an asymmetrical synthesis. You must start feeding your neural network the wrong data. What is the wrong data? It is the data that is actually anomalous. It is a high fidelity, structurally sound information that belongs to a completely different industry, a different scientific discipline, or a different geopolitical matrix. Innovation in 2026 does not happen by drilling deeper into your own silo. It happens by violently colliding two different, completely unrelated data streams and forcing the neural network to resolve the friction. Let us look how an apex operator functions. An amateur HR executive wants to solve a massive employee burnout. They feed the AI standard HR articles on wellness, 4-hour work week, and mental health. The AI spits out a generic, useless program about offering free yoga classes and Pizza Friday. The burnout continues. The sovereign operator uses the wrong data. They upload the raw data of their department's employee attrition rates, but instead of uploading HR practices as a contextual framework, they upload a 500-page academic textbook on thermodynamics and mechanical energy loss in jet engines. They deploy this specific prompt. Act as an apex mechanical engineer specializing in thermodynamics energy loss. Analyze my department human attrition data. Do not use standard HR psychology. Map the human burnout strictly using the laws of thermodynamic friction, heat dissipation, and systematic overheating, where in our corporate value stream is the engine losing the most kinetic energy, and how do we install a mechanical cooling system without halting operational thrust. The AI is forced out of its lazy, mean-reverting HR dataset. It must synthesize the biology of a human burnout through the cold, unyielding physics of a mechanical engineering. It outputs a completely novel, unprecedented structural framework for mandatory cognitive downtime and workload throttling that no standard HR consultancy could ever conceptualize. You fed in the wrong data and it produced the ultimate sovereign strategy. Phase 3, the hallucination exploit, weaponizing the edge cases. We must address the corporate fear of a machine making mistakes. The traditional IT departments and the Chief Information Security Officer CISO are terrified of AI hallucinations. They spend millions of dollars building strict guardrails, RAG, the retrieval augmented generation pipelines, and safety filters to ensure the AI only outputs factually correct, heavily sanitized corporate data. While that is necessary for customer-facing chatbots, it is a fatal for a high-level executive strategy. The sovereign architect understands how to weaponize the edge cases. When you feed the AI conflicting asymmetrical data stream, you push the neural weights to their absolute limits. You push the models to the very edge of hallucination. This is where the magic happens. If you are a supply chain manager in India dealing with massive logistics delay, the standard approach is to ask the AI to optimize the trucking routes based on the current GPS data. The sovereign approach is to upload your logistics data and simultaneously upload a dataset detailing mycelial network growth patterns of a fungi. You command the AI to redesign the supply chain routing using the exact biological algorithm that fungi use to find the most nutrient-efficient path through a forest flow. The AI will struggle. It will hallucinate strange, decentralized hub-and-spoke models that defy traditional corporate logistics. 90% of what its output will be chaotic noise. But the 10% of that output will be pure, uncut strategic alpha. It will reveal a decentralized micro-warehouse rerouting protocol that traditional supply chain software could never calculate. The machine is your brute force cognitive engine. If you keep it safely in the center of a lane, you will get average result. You must intentionally force the machine off-road to discover the path your competitors are too scared to explore. Phase 4, the sovereign application, the India-UAE corridor. Let us apply this exact architecture to the real-world economic background of 2026. UAE and India. The dual real estate matrix, the Dubai property market is a hyper competitor. You know, developers are using AI to optimize pricing and floor plan. They feed their models historical sales data and competitor pricing. The result? 1,000 identical luxury tower targeting the exact same demographics. A sovereign developer stop feeding the AI real estate data. They feed the AI data on human psychological isolation in high density urban environment alongside behavioral economic of tribal loyalty. They force the AI to design a property framework not based on maximum square footage but on mathematical optimization of human collision point. Designing architecture that legally and biological forces high net worth individual to interact, creating an uncopyable network effect inside the building. The real estate becomes a Veblen good because it solves a psychological void, not a housing shortage. The Indian techs scale up. In Bangalore, massive IT firms are bleeding margins because their coding factories are being automated by LLMs. They are desperately asking AI how to cut cost. A sovereign IT executive stops asking about cost cutting. They upload their operational data and cross-reference it with historical military retreat protocols and decentralized guerrilla warfare tactics. They command the AI to architect a corporate restructuring plan where the massive centralized IT campus is systematically dismantled and the top 5% of a biological talent is reorganized into highly autonomous decentralized guerrilla nodes that operates independently of legacy corporate oversight. They break the bureaucratic gridlock by applying military survival tactic to corporate software deployment. In both scenarios, the operator becomes indispensable. Why? Because the CEO cannot automate them. The AI cannot independently decide to cross-reference the real estate with psychology or IT services with military history. The AI is a tool of execution. The human remains the master of the context. Phase 5. The sovereign orchestrator, the execution blueprint. We have diagnosed the homogeneity trap. We have exposed the physics of asymmetrical synthesis and the weaponization of the edge cases. The final is your personal execution blueprint. How do you pivot from highly replaceable linear operator into an ultimate indispensable sovereign orchestrator? Step 1. Liquidate your silo. If your entire professional identity is based on knowing everything about your specific industry, you are a sitting duck. The AI already knows your industry better than you. Must aggressively begin consuming high-density, complex data from outside your sector. If you are in finance, study evolutionary biology. If you are in marketing, study astrophysics. You must build an internal biological library of wrong data. Step 2. Engineer the collision. When you face a massive corporate problem, do not use the AI to solve it directly. Use the AI to facilitate a collision. Create a prompt structure that explicitly demands the integration of two incompatible datasets. Force the machine to translate the friction of the problem into the language of the alien discipline. Step 3. Master the extraction of alpha. When you force these collisions, the AI will output highly chaotic, dense, and sometimes confusing responses. Your value as a biological operator is your ability to sift through that chaos. Extract the 10% of pure strategic alpha and translate it back to the executable C-suite corporate terminology. You are the filter between the madness and the genius. Step 4. Broadcast your unautomatable architecture. You must force the global labor market to recognize that you are not a standard prompt engineer. You step into your acoustic-treated digital studio. You deploy your Cineline gear, your Sony FX series camera with the razor-sharp cinematic lighting. You import the visual models of your cross-domain AI architectures into DaVinci Resolve 20. You record a highly structured, unsentimental video essay, deconstructing exactly how you solved a massive supply chain bottleneck by not using supply chain software but by deploying the biological fungal growth algorithm through an enterprise LLM. You show the math, you show the deployment. You broadcast this artifact directly to our sovereign wealth funds, the apex tech founders, and the global capital allocator. When a tier 1 CEO watches that broadcast, they realize instantly that you cannot be replaced by an API key. You are not feeding the machine the standard industry slop. You are bending the machine to your will by injecting the exact contextual anomalies required to break the market. Look closely at the prompt you typed into your corporate AI today. Look at the data you fed the machine. Was it the exact same data your competitor is feeding their machine right now? If so, you are actively automating yourself. You stop playing by the rules of the algorithm. Stop aiming for a statistical average. Start feeding the machine the wrong data, orchestrate the chaos, and force the global economy to pay you an absolute premium for an unautomable genius of a human context. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.